Controversial methods of discipline known as seclusion and restraint are limited by law, but we uncovered they're still being used in classrooms. Tonight's 5 on Your Side investigation reveals Ohio schools are ignoring rules meant to keep students safe.
Investigator Sarah Buduson is here, and Sarah, these tactics can be dangerous.
They can. Hundreds of students were injured in just one school year. We first told you about problems with the methods last fall, when we found incidents were massively underreported. Now we've uncovered another way Ohio schools fail their most vulnerable students. This is how Jordan Zimmerman communicates.
I'm able to educate people and help others see that anything is possible.
She types the words. Her iPad does the talking. At 20 years old, she has found her voice, a voice silenced for most of her life.
I didn't communicate with the world. I felt trapped.
Jordan has autism and is nonverbal.
Conversations would move and I knew things that I wanted to contribute, but I wasn't able to.
Imagine, until she figured out how to use her iPad, Jordan couldn't share her hopes, dreams, and feelings, or cry out for help. Help she needed at a place where she should have felt safe.
I don't know if abused is the right word, but I certainly wasn't treated right.
For years, Jordan says she was routinely restrained by staff at the schools she attended, sometimes as many as 5 times a day. This is what restraint can look like. In this video, middle school student Sean Green is held down by 2 men for 7 minutes.
I think I may have gotten a concussion when I was being restrained at Hudson High School one day. My head got hit against the chalkboard ledge, and I ended up in the hospital.
It is hard to know that this is continuing to happen.
Kristen Hildebrandt is the senior attorney at Disability Rights Ohio. For 25 years, she's fought to stop schools from using restraint and seclusion. That's when a student is locked alone inside a room like this specially built one.
So in a perfect world, yes, we should never use them. But it's not a perfect world.
In 2013, Ohio finally limited their use. Schools could now only use seclusion and restraint as a last resort. But when 5 on Your Side investigators reviewed this database of reported incidents, we found districts openly disregard the law. More than 20,000 were reported just during the 2014-15 school year, 50% more than the year before, when the new rules took effect.
Sometimes people treat him like he's a contagious disease or like he's stupid.
And when Amatullah Shield's son Nikis was hurt, he also has autism. After acting up in class, his teachers tried to calm him down by forcing him into a purple sock, a form of restraint. Nikis fell and knocked out his front teeth.
When I saw my son, his mouth was stuffed with gauze and it was bloody, and I could tell he had been crying.
The special therapeutic device was never prescribed for Nikis and should only be used by a trained practitioner, not his teachers.
Those were criminal actions. I would have liked to see them do jail time.
You would think schools try to prevent incidents. After all, the law says they're supposed to. But as we comb through the state database, of the more than 20,000 incidents, we found just 8% resulted in the creation of behavior plans. The majority resulted in no action at all.
There's more work. There's work to be done on behalf of school districts and the efforts they're making.
We talked to Susan Zake last fall, the state education official in charge of making sure schools follow seclusion and restraint rules. We wanted to talk to her again for this story, but she turned down our request for an interview.
I'm not aware of any proactive efforts by the Department of Education to actually go into school districts on a regular basis, see what they're doing.
When schools follow the rules, the difference can be dramatic.
X to the 5th.
Take Jordan.
I have internal fights with my body on a daily basis. Sometimes I bite my fingers, bang my head against the walls, or run out of the building.
But she hasn't been restrained even once this school year because at Menor High, where she's finishing up her senior year, she has a behavior support plan.
My teachers and the principals will give me hand squeezes or head squeezes anytime. If I'm having a bad day, sometimes I just sit in a quiet area.
For the first time, Jordan is what she always wanted to be, a regular high school student who can't wait to go to college. and learn to help others find their voices. Voices waiting to be heard.
I want to go to college and study education. I want to be a special education teacher so I can assist students who are so smart internally, but need some extra help showing their true potential.
A spokesperson for the Ohio Department of Education sent us a statement saying the department is proactively trying to reduce the number of incidents and reaches out to school districts with unusual numbers of complaints. And Hudson City Schools says training staff to avoid physical interventions is, quote, a high priority. On your side, I'm investigator Sarah Buduson, News Channel 5.